Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what they do, baby? It is your boy Pride, aka the dude with the strongest hands on the internet, joined by Chicago's own, the deadliest man in the world, Mike Hughes, and the sis who will put paws on any man or female, Sensei. How y'all doing today?
Do good.
We're doing good, man.
I'm so petty.
Sorry, where I'm at it doesn't have Wi-Fi, so I had my
You good, sis? You good? You good?
and that's
the-
my right.
COVID. Damn.
Yo, you a clown. You a whole clown, Mike. Dame Lillard reportedly wants to play with Ben Simmons. We'll talk about that later. But first and foremost, the Pacers blowing shit up, and they blown it up like crazy. Apparently, Caris LeVert, Sabonis, and Miles Turner all are on the trade block. Come on. It is rumored that whoever they get, they either want young players or draft picks. They don't care. They're doing a full-blown rebuild. So, and by the way, TJ McConnell was supposed to be one of those guys in there as
He had a
well.
little surgery.
But he got the surgery, which is
me on
honestly killing his
right now. Fucking me
that's
right now without a condom, not even being safe about it. Like he's killing me right now. I had to drop.
So
I had to drop.
right, oh my god, bro! Everyone was saying that. Everybody was upset. There were a lot of people who dropped him before in fantasy. A lot of people dropped him before he even got injured because
Yeah.
you know he
Very inconsistent.
Yeah, he definitely was not worth it, especially in your standard leagues. But Mike, let me start with you. Caris LeVert, Sabonis, and Turner all on the trade block. Which team should try to go trade for which player?
Let me tell you something right now. And Sensei gonna be a little mad. She's gonna be a little tight, but I'm gonna tell you where it works for all favors, and it's still relatively realistic. First of all, Caris, LA Vert is going to the Los Angeles Lakers some way, somehow. It has to happen. Don't know if they'd want Russ, but if it's a full-blown rebuild, you got to sell tickets somehow, especially if you're in Indiana. She wasn't a fan. She just left. I'm playing. We all know the Wi-Fi is out, sis. It's all love. But yeah, I see Caris LeVert going to the LA Lakers definitely makes sense to me. If somehow they could get away with maybe splitting Russ's money so that way they don't take on the full thing. I don't see any other reason why they don't want it. You obviously have to give up draft picks. I wouldn't give up a buttload, but I definitely would give up some. Maybe a Kendrick Nunn, someone along those lines, someone who hasn't really been a part of the rotation yet, still very young, still very promising.
Mike, let me ask you a question. Mike, because you're saying you would, any trade involving the Lakers and the Pacers. Don't you think THT would have to be involved in those?
I would, but I know for a fact Bron won't do it. Bron loves THT with a passion. Chicago native. Kendrick Nunn is also a Chicago native. I got love for both of those boys. But it's definitely a situation where I feel like they all agree that Taylor is the future. Now, on the Sabonis side of things, I'm very different. I am one of the only people I've heard say it so far. I think the Timberwolves need to make a move. I think the Timberwolves should give up the future for Sabonis. You have D'Lo, you have Cat, you have Edwards. Get in Sabonis. You're sitting at the 9th seed right now. You're not too far off. If they want Culver, they could fucking have him. I'll wrap him up for you myself. Like, I'm not even a Timberwolves fan. I'm just saying, like, if you want him, have him. So I think Sabonis is definitely an interesting conversation to have to really be that number 3, so D'Lo can just kind of chill and be that guy, be that floor general he was with Brooklyn back in the day. Now, number 3, I'm so happy you brought it up, Pride. So happy we're having this conversation. Culver is on Memphis. Yeah, that's tragic.
He got traded for Patrick Beverly. Remember?
Did he really?
Yes. I forgot all about that. Yeah, so the Clippers had traded Pat Bev to the Memphis Grizzlies. And it kind of
That's
the same thing
very-
with Kemba Walker. He didn't even get there. Like he didn't go.
Right. Yeah. You forget it even happened.
Yes.
But
yes. So, yeah, no, you're
fine,
right.
fine. Not
Yeah.
not Culver. My bad. But yeah, it's definitely
play
something.
Slay, what it do?
Yo, as for Miles Turner, I hate to always bring in my Bulls, but Miles Turner for Patrick Williams, who's a great young stud, and maybe a 2024 first round pick, I would do it. I mean, you look at it, Pride, hear me out. You put him at the 4. He's 6'11". He helps out Vooch. We're very undersized as it is. Now you have your starting. You already have Ayo Dosunmu, another Chicago native, balling out. Kobe White, Alex Caruso, Javonte Green goes back to the bench. Solid bench. And then you look at it, and you have Lonzo, Levine, DeMar, Turner, and then Vooch. I think that's a solid team. And at this point in Miles' career, he's not a top 3 scoring option. Like he's gonna just be that guy, and he's gonna understand that role. Especially coming to a contending team. So I think it works for the better. I think it's a lot more realistic than every Chicago fan right now saying we're getting Sabonis. I don't think that fits whatsoever. It's going to diminish what DeMar is doing. It's going to fuck up the whole chemistry. I would love Sabonis, don't get me wrong, but foreign white boys after Lauri Markkanen. After Lauri Markkanen, I don't want any of the foreign white boys. Good.
Look, I mean,
but yeah, I think Miles to the Bulls makes sense.
The only issue I have, because you said to trade Patrick Williams, he's injured.
Or Kobe White.
I was about to say it's gonna have to be Kobe White because Patrick Williams he's injured and he's out for the season, so it's kind of like they're gonna be worried. For me, I get why you think that that Miles Turner to the Bulls makes sense. I think him to the Lakers makes even more sense.
I do too. I just don't think they have. I don't think before you go. I don't think they have the assets. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I don't think they're willing to give up those assets for someone like Miles Turner.
I think they should. And I get what you're saying because again, Miles Turner isn't. He's not going to be a top 3 guy. But in terms of your bigs, he would, without a shadow of a doubt, be better than every other option you have in terms of the big man position. And
no doubt.
The gap between him and who do you think who's the best big man on that roster? What, Dwight? It's not DJ.
Yeah.
It's probably Dwight, right?
It should be AD, but
it should be AD, but the way AD's playing, but even so,
DeAndre Jordan, I don't even think DeAndre Jordan gets minutes, but
yeah, but even then, if you think about it, if you put AD in there, right? I'm talking about all the other guys after AD, like big men. Miles Turner is better than them, and it's not even close. He would be the first big man coming off that bench. And that's assuming he doesn't start, because I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up starting and they put AD at the 4, where he wants to be. That's where he really wants to be.
It's definitely a question to have,
Right. So that's kind of why I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like,
now my problem is though,
good.
Who do you give up for Miles if you're the LA?
That's the thing. And for any trade for any one of these guys,
right?
THT is gonna have to be involved.
Not for Miles though.
I think so. I
couldn't do it. I give up Malik. I'll give him Malik.
But I don't know if they'll want Malik. I would start with Malik in a pick and see what happens. Yeah. If they say no, then THT in a pick. But for Miles, that's as high as I go. For Caris LeVert, I'll do THT and 2 picks. And
I'll give you Russ and Malik, bro. I'll give you Russ, Malik, and a pick.
The thing is, I don't know. I'll be honest. I understand what you're saying about, the Pacers wanting that chain. I get it. But let's call it what it is, man. I think right now where the Pacers are going kind of the same place the Rockets are at. John Wall, he's still considered a household name, and they won't even start him because they want to focus on the youth and the next generation of Houston basketball. Pacers are going to end up being in that same position.
Right.
So why would, you know what I mean? So like, and again, I understand what you're saying when, they don't want to get rid of THT, which would be tough, but to get any of those guys, THT is going to have to be starting point. Iverson Vlog says, my prediction, Miles ends up in Charlotte or Golden State. I don't think Golden State. I don't like that fit. Yeah, I don't like that fit, especially considering you have James Wiseman, who I like a lot. He fits everything Golden State does and what they need in a big man. Like, think about it. He can play like a traditional big man, but he's young and quick enough that when they go on fast breaks, he can keep up with them. Miles Turner can't really keep up with the fast breaks. Charlotte, to me,
makes sense.
Makes the most amount of sense to me. Right. You know what I mean? Because in terms of the big man position, they're kind of slacking a little bit. You know what I mean? They kind of, you know, not really slacking their dog shit. Let's just call it what it is, right? And Miles Turner being there, I think it gives you a good option in terms of the big man position. A guy who can, you know, you can run some plays. You can run some plays through him. You know what I mean? He won't be the, you know, he won't be like, you know, the end all be all. But I think he could run a couple plays for Miles Turner. He can all right at the three. We gotta respect him. So go ahead.
What do you think about a reunion with Brooklyn? You give Joe Harris picks and Kyrie Irving for Karis LeVert and Miles Turner.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Oh, by the way, Miles to Portland.
You're gonna really piss off Dame if he literally said, "I want Ben Simmons," and you give up picks for Miles.
I don't think he'll be that mad. I think it depends on what you give up. Like if you give up like 3 picks for Miles Turner,
if DJ's going for Miles, it's gonna be bad.
Right, 100%.
It's gonna be bad.
So that right there will be tough. But to your point, if Brooklyn does that, I genuinely believe that would put them in a stratosphere of their own.
Right.
And what I mean by that is you have Karis LeVert, who I personally believe they should have never have gotten rid of Karis LeVert.
Right. Him and Spencer to me were
right. Oh, by the way, Raider, Damian Lillard does not have a no trade clause. However, he doesn't want to get traded. So he's kind of like, I'll gut it through. So supposedly he demanded a trade. I don't think so, because you know, I think he would have said it out loud by now, but no. No way they do that deal. And again, I like my whole thing, and I'm assuming, Jake, please clarify, because I'm assuming you're talking about Brooklyn. If that's what you're talking about, you know, just let us know, clarify, so we can address your point properly. But I'm pretty sure that's where you're going. I will say this. I love that deal. Because you're getting Karis LeVert, who can immediately fill that third guy you need. And you have Miles Turner, who's solidifying your defense. You know what I mean? Now,
kind of that big man you never really had.
Right. And it makes sense from Brooklyn's point of view. My concern, and Jake literally just clarified, which is what I'm going to go to. My concern would be would the Pacers take Kyrie and Joe Harris, 2 guys who A, aren't young, B, are becoming very injury prone, and 3, and this last point goes to Kyrie, he now kind of has a reputation of being a not a cancer, but toxic, you know, especially with the young thing like that. So for me, it makes all the sense in the world for Brooklyn. And for Brooklyn, I love it. I love that trade. I love it. In terms of the Pacers, the only way I could see that happening is if the Pacers already have suitors lined up to trade immediately Kyrie and Joe Harris.
Right.
Kind of like what OKC did with Kemba, and kind of what you know what I mean? What Memphis did with Pat Bev. The only way is if they have that. If not, I don't know, but again, I think you're gonna make this point, Mike. They're on the trade block. So for all we know, they'll probably just be like, yo, we'll take those players, give us some picks, and then we'll just release them. Like, for all we know, that could be the route that they want to go, Mike.
And it definitely could, but it's also one of those things where, like you said with the Kemba situation, I think Kyrie is more of a bargaining chip, because Kyrie will be available to play if he's in Indiana. That is the rules. He's just not New York or LA. The thing is, you know, Kyrie to Philly, you know, they love their crazy point guards, but it's something where with Kyrie, okay, let's let Kyrie play. At one point in time, either these restrictions are going to probably be lessened, probably by 2022, 2023, or Kyrie's eventually going to get vaccinated. Then right there, you have a trade piece. you have someone
Right.
who you can help ball out. Only if Kyrie's playing. Obviously, Kyrie would need to be balling out for this to happen. And then you have something there. Joe Harris, I'm gonna be completely real about it. I don't care how old you get, shooters shoot, and it doesn't. And that's really all Joe Harris does. I think my biggest thing with Joe Harris is the same thing I've had against Lauri Markkanen. You don't know how to play with other great players. Now, when you are the number one option, you are balling out and you are a 3-point specialist. Now, when Zach LaVine comes back from an ACL injury, and all these other individuals start coming into the fold, you don't really know how to act. It's going to be hard for the Bulls to trade for Miles Turner or Sabonis because the contracts. Yeah,
And real quick, Mike, because what they're piggybacking off of what Damian said, he said people are already saying Bulls should trade for Miles Turner and Sabonis. What do y'all think of that? And you addressed it earlier, where
it's a rental deal.
You're like, I'll take Miles, but I don't. Sabonis won't fit.
Yeah, because if you lose Sabonis, if you get Sabonis, you lose Zach. Point blank. Period. Like that's just how it's going to look. He still has 3 or 4 years left on his deal. And don't get me wrong, a lineup of Caruso, Lonzo, DeMar, Sabonis, and Vooch isn't bad. But I'll take Zach any day. Zach's already instilled himself into this offense. And again, I think Sabonis would take away from what DeMar is doing because you do have to give Sabonis those respected reps. So I'm really comfortable with that. And I feel like Miles more understands his role at this point in his career than Sabonis does. I mean, Sabonis was an MVP candidate at some point last year. It was a very short period of time, Pride, but you know what I mean?
It was enough that when people said, he's a dark horse candidate, right? Like, so I do get your point there, Mike.
Right. I think it's too much.
Right. The only concern I have with Miles Turner to the Bulls is at that point, you're going to have to get rid of Vooch.
Nah.
You don't think so?
I think you put Miles at the 4. Miles has played the 4 before. He's vibing at the 4. Now, me and my boys were actually the Fantasy Gods group chat. They're all from Chicago. We all grew up together. We were actually having the conversation. Do you put Miles on the bench or do you put Miles in the starting rotation? And my problem is this. And then we got into a whole argument about, is Vooch a top 5 center in this league? I said he's sitting somewhere from 6 to 8. I don't have him in top 5, just off the pure. If we're talking scoring centers, I think he's top 5. But at the actual natural position, I wouldn't say he's top 5. We can get into that another day. But it's definitely something where Vooch is getting doubled right now by a lot of bigs. There's a lot of individuals right now that are boxing out Vooch so that they can get boards. You saw Philly do it. You saw the Heat do it. You saw a lot of.
He's getting double boxed out.
Right. So you bring in Miles, who's 6'11". You put him at the 4. Miles can still take his shots, do whatever he wants to do. Getting back on defense, maybe he's a liability. But you have Lonzo, Caruso, Vooch, and Zach doing their thing. You still have solid guys playing defense right now. So I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't think he'd be that much of a liability. But it's definitely something where it would have to be Miles. I don't need Caris LeVert. For the first time ever, Pride, the Bulls have guards. We have more than enough guards.
Plenty.
At one point, it was Cameron Payne by him fucking self. So we've come a very long way. So
let me ask you something. How do you? I'm gonna propose to you 3 separate trades, right?
All right.
I want you to let me know how would you rank it in terms of making sense from the most sense to sense to Pride on crack. We need to check you into rehab. Those 3, right? So first, I like this one a lot. So if you get Sabonis and LeVert to Philly for Ben Simmons and Seth Curry, that's 1. 2, we get Miles Turner and Caris LeVert. Send them, because the thing people need to understand, this is a combo thing. It's Caris LeVert and one of the other from these guys. Right. So they're sending 2 guys.
They want to go big. They want to go
big. They want a big trade, right?
They don't want to do a 3-way Chicago
exactly. Yeah, they just want to send these 2 guys to one team. You give us something, we go from there. So that's 1. Number 2, Caris LeVert and Miles Turner over and send them over to LA. In return, they'll get Russ, Malik Monk, and a couple picks, with the stipulation that LA has to cover half of Russ's existing contract. So that way, Pacers ain't stuck with it. I know that's
Right.
the one that you're gonna be like, yeah, probably you're on crack. We gotta check you in rehab.
Oh, but
And then
it's
the
like,
last one, which I low key like. I'm a fan of this one. I kind of want to piggyback off you saying Sabonis to the Timberwolves. Let's get Sabonis and Karis LeVert. But it's a package with or surrounded around D'Lo and draft picks. Which one do you think I'm doing crack on?
None are cracked, but the second one,
With
Malik
the
is 23. Yeah, the Laker one, Malik Monk is 23. So I think you're doing something there. But Karis LeVert is relatively young as well. So
Right.
it's one of those things where it's like, honestly, before Karis had his whatever, I'm not gonna diagnose him, but whatever his medical issue was, where he
I
had
will kill
cancer.
myself.
What about Miles and Sabonis to this?
He said Miles Sabonis Celtics for Tatum. I will kill myself.
Yeah,
I will kill myself.
That's. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Pride. I would do it for Jalen, maybe. But it's still. I just don't know if they can coach.
For me, that's a stretch. I mean, look, I like Miles Turner and Sabonis because we do need a front court.
Right.
But I mean, for one of our building pieces, unless Sabonis is all
I
of a
gotta
sudden
see Aaron Nesmith go off before I trade Jaylen Brown.
right. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I mean, yo, if you want Marcus Smart, I'm good. If you want Marcus Smart, Pritchard, we got a couple young guys on our thing that if you want, sure. I mean, if you want,
I would do.
might as well
I
trade
think
Patmore. Because
more realistic.
Robert.
More realistic to me though is like maybe you do Aaron Nesmith a couple picks, and Marcus Smart for Karis and Sabonis, but
I wouldn't be mad with that.
Right, or maybe Jaylen Brown, Aaron Nesmith. It is what it is. You get Karis, you get Sabonis. Karis X's out Brown, not in the same way, but it makes sense. But yeah, with what you said, what did you say? Sabonis.
Sabonis would be good for the.
That's not happening. I'm ignoring that. Pride, we're ignoring that. That's not happening. Sabonis is not on the fucking. Damian, I love you, but that's no. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah. Literally the next comment. He ain't coming off the bench. What are we doing here?
No, that's not a thing. But yeah, with what you said, the first one was the Philly one. That to me doesn't make that much sense. Just because from Indiana's perspective, I think it doesn't make sense. Because Seth Curry is not young. Seth Curry is not a young individual.
Right.
So to me, it's like it is what it is. If you're getting picks involved with that, that's fine. But Philly's not doing that. Philly wants to win the trade.
Right.
So that's where it all comes down to at the end of the day. Now, if Philly gives up both of their point guards, you have a problem in itself other than just, okay, we have Sabonis now.
Damian,
what else?
I've never met a Celtic fan that want to get rid of Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. I've never met him. And I've heard
Jaylen get critiqued, but I haven't heard it happen.
Yes, I've heard the critiques. I've never heard anyone get rid of him. And Damian, if anyone has ever said that, send them my way, and I will give them a stern talking to. But go ahead, Mike.
But the third one, I know I keep rambling about this. You gave me good. It was really hard. The D'Lo one, I'm fine with, honestly. I feel like D'Lo's health has been honestly what's been taking them so long to get on top. They needed Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has emerged himself as a great talent. Karl Anthony Towns is coming into his own. Shout out to Cat for all the things he's been overcoming in the last few years. He's really just been growing as a man, and my heart's out for him. Losing a lot of family members and just growing as a person. Jimmy Butler is one of my favorite players in the league, and Coach won't believe that, but I have that man's Marquette. I have that man's Bulls, Timberwolves, Philly jersey, Miami jersey. I got the whole 9 yards. I'm a Jimmy guy. But Jimmy did. There was a lot that went into why Jimmy had beef with Cat and Wiggins and so on and so forth. I think money was involved more than just them being, soft, quote unquote.
I think what it was is I'm just gonna piggyback.
They got paid before he did. That's how I look at it.
Right, and not only that, the way he looked at it is they're getting paid, and I'm working twice as hard. So what he was trying to do is I want y'all to work as hard as me. He had a good idea, He
Right.
just
It was just
handled it the
executed
wrong way.
very poorly.
Yeah, because you just got to go up to him and say, hey, yo, Corey at the time, bro, you big, bro. Come on, get in the paint. Instead, he was like, hey, okay, you a bitch. I beat the shit out you. And it's like, whoa, y'all teammates.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like, you know what I mean?
It was too much. It was too much. But yeah, that third one I like a lot. And I feel bad saying I like it because D'Lo does deserve a chance to shine. He's been a journeyman for quite some time now. But you know, when you snitch on Swaggy P, that's what happens, big dog. But you know, at the end of the day, I think I would do 3 more than anything. I like Karis, Edwards. So it's Karis, Edwards, Sabonis.
It was Harris, it was LeVert and Sabonis. It would be Edwards, Cat would be there, and man, I'm assuming you have to elevate Pat Bev to the starting lineup.
Right. So your starting lineup would be something of Pat Bev,
Anthony Edwards.
You know, you got Karis,
LeVert at the 3,
Cat.
Sabonis and Cat, which I like.
I think that's solid. I can't tell you who their head coach is right now, but I think that's solid.
Real quick, because we do have a Wolves fan, or someone who understands a little bit from the Wolves. Wolves fans want Miles Turner from Malik Beasley, Jaden McDaniels, and draft picks. That's what I've heard. The problem, though, the only problem with that is that you need Karis LeVert too, and I don't mean need from the Timberwolves in terms of winning. It's just he needs to be in there because the Pacers want to go big, so that's why they're throwing 2 guys out there. You know what I mean?
I guess you could throw in Pat if you wanted.
I was gonna say if to probably balance this out a little bit. But LeVert. But even if you're gonna do that, I need to see what draft picks they're talking about, because if we're talking about first round draft picks from a Timberwolves team that's probably gonna be a good pick. Do you really want to do all that and Malik Beasley and Jaden McDaniels to get 2 guys? For me, the only way I'll do this is if I'm getting all 3. That's just me.
Right. I don't think it would be a good pick though if you get Sabonis and Miles Turner. I don't think so at all.
No, I wouldn't want Miles.
Or not Miles. Karis and Sabonis.
Yeah, it would be Karis and Sabonis.
I think that's a playoff team.
Oh, at the bare minimum, as long as they don't fumble it, this is at worst a play-in team. And when I say play-in, I'm talking about if they're the 9th seed, they're like a game out from the 8th. That type of play-in.
I think they would be very close to take the West.
Yeah. Last
all
one,
depends on Edwards.
Right. Last one before we move on. What about Turner and Sabonis to the Pelicans or Houston? Pelicans, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Houston, no. Because Houston is they're trying to straight up rebuild and all that stuff. Pelicans,
yes,
that you're onto something. But here's the $1 million question: are you giving up Zion? Because if I'm the Pacers low key might want Zion, even though with the whole oh, he looked like Black Jesus, Black Santa, oh my God, and feed 5 full fun and whatnot. He's still, I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh, Kizzy. I ain't even gonna fly.
Yeah, bro. So, I mean, the Houston, I don't think it.
Brandon.
Red. But the Houston one, it won't happen. Pelicans could potentially happen. Yeah. But if they do that, I need to see who, like, the trade package. Because, again, to do that, Turner and Sabonis, which I don't even think they'll do that. I think, obviously they want Karis LeVert out too. So it'll probably because they like Jonas. So it might end up being LeVert and Sabonis. But my fear is that they'll try to get Zion. And that I think is going to be
all 3. I would need all 3 for Zion. I really would.
I'm with you there.
I really would. Just because of what Zion means. Like, what Zion stands for in New Orleans is everything. Like, if you let him walk for nothing, it's going to look bad. Now, Brandon Ingram, to me, is a straight-up G. Like, he's a killer. Like, this guy is coming. No one realizes that. And the only one really talking about it, this guy is a damn near criminal on the court. Like, he looks like he's about to fucking steal your wallet and steal the ball. Like, this guy puts the fear in God in people. Like, he's just a G. Damn near 7 feet tall. Got the tats from top to bottom. Like, he is cold, man. But
he legit.
And his game speaks for himself. But I like what you said, too, though. People forget Valanciunas. I don't know why they'd want Miles. I really don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so and especially if you're getting Sabonis, too, You have Brandon Ingram at the 3, Sabonis at the 4,
and LeVert at the 2.
What's Miles doing? Like, Miles is on the bench, but
and again, that's just a waste.
Right. But I guess if you have all 3 and you have Miles on the bench, Karras is also there in maybe he's your starting shooting guard. It's definitely a question mark of okay, like maybe we have something here.
I'm gonna put it this way: if they get Turner, then Valencia Jonas is supposed to be. He's probably gonna be in the trade too. That's the way I would look at it. If
I don't see how he's not. I don't see how he's not. Yeah. That's questionable.
Yeah. That's just how I look at it. You know,
Indiana should do that though, because let's be real, Pride. Like, no free agents going to Indiana, and they're always so average. They're not going to get a number 1 lottery pick unless they get lucky, which is why it's the lottery. But you know, they've just not had anything since those Paul George days. If you have a chance to get Zion, fuck it, I guess.
I mean, I would say fuck it, take a plunge, because I mean, worst case scenario, you lose him,
you sell the jerseys,
right? You're not only to do that, and let's say you lose Zion, it is what it is. As long as, because again, if you get some draft picks,
right,
you get some draft picks, and I think you'll be fine,
right. And then
I think even if Zion walks, Pacers will be okay because they're like, you know what, we got draft picks, so we'll be able to sleep at night. You know what I mean?
Right. And my last point is this, and it's not to get into this man's weight or anything, but Indiana, respectfully, I'm in Chicago. There ain't shit to really do in Indiana. So Zion might be forced to work on his game. This isn't New Orleans. This isn't LA or New York or Chicago or Miami. Like, you're in fucking Gary, Indiana, bro. Like, if you go outside, you might get shot. Like, just stay in the gym and work out. Like, that's all you really can do. Or go play in the cornfield. I really have nothing else to tell you. So I think it might work.
It might. It really might. Last one to the Spurs.
Fuck no.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Wait, who?
I'm assuming either of them.
Like the Zion thing or the
no. Karis LeVert, Sabonis, or Turner.
I can't name one player on the Spurs other than Thaddeus Young. But,
and DeJounte Murray. I do.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah. My thing is, I don't think so.
They don't have enough.
Yeah, I don't think so. But there were some people in the chat talking about Ben Simmons. Damian Lillard.
Wait, Brian. I'm sorry.
My bad. Go ahead.
I love you. But hold on. Marvin Bagley and picks. What do you think? Because he's young, he wants out. Sabonis for Bagley and picks. Question mark? He's so young. I don't know. The number 2 overall pick maybe just had a bad go. You got Sabonis, you got Fox. You're kind of doing your thing.
That's a thinker for me right there, boy.
That's why I was wait.
If I'm gonna tell you this right now. If I'm the Pacers, I need more.
I would need a lot. I would need protected, like fully protected.
Yeah, if you give me like 2 protected and Bagley, we got something. We got something.
Like, if it's a number 1 pick, it's fucking mine. Like, I need it.
Like, it's mine, and I don't need to go, oh, I hope and pray this. No, like, it is mine, signed, sealed, and delivered. Marvin Bagley with 2 protected first and maybe 2 seconds. You can take I'll give you Sabonis, Turner, and LeVert for all that.
Right.
Because not only you got the young guy, but then on top of that, let's say he gets mad and wants out. Okay, bye. Fuck off. We got 4 picks out of that.
Right. You got all that money now because you don't got to pay Marvin, so you don't got to pay Sabonis or Miles or any of them. So you can just do whatever you want.
To me, that's what I do. That's what
Shout out Damien. He mentioned the Spurs, so he mentioned dog shit, and I thought about dog shit even more. So I was like, the Kings.
Right.
The Kings. But yeah, that'd be wild.
Dame Lillard reportedly wants to play with Ben Simmons. And I'm just glad that he came out and said it because everyone said that Ben Simmons has been trashed. You and I, we talked about this, and you do not like this move. No, I'm not saying you did. You do not like this move. You don't think it really
It's
like explain.
it's been something I've been keeping my eye on, and me and you, I think we even had this conversation on air before, but like it just went over everyone's head, so we never even dove into it. But I was one of the people who originally said, if you know Kenny from Chicago, King of the Fourth Quarter, does 2K rebuilds religiously, amazing at what he does, and a father to be. But it's definitely something where he was the first person, congratulations Kenny, to tell me, or not me specifically, but to tell the channel, like, maybe Ben wants to go to Portland for Dame, which kind of allowed me to think, the way CJ has been playing, you might be able to get away with having Dame and Ben coexist. Now, what I would need first is to see it happen. And I know that's such a cop out, but like the personalities are very, very different. Kenny Beckham, yeah, that's my guy. Don't know him personally, by the way. Don't want to sound like a cloud chaser, but I watch him every day. But it's definitely something. I'm a fan. But yeah, it's something where I look at it though and I say, this could be fucking huge for Portland. This could be what puts Portland in that next window of we're gonna be great. But again, I've never knocked Ben for his game. I've knocked Ben for his attitude towards his game. Ben does not care. Right. No, that's my thing though. Ben doesn't care about developing as a player. I think Ben's very comfortable in the role he's in. I think he's in a great place. I think he thinks he's in a great place game-wise. So when I have Dame shooting from the logo and struggling this year, who he had, let's be real, Pride, he's been struggling, whether that be through injuries or whatever's going on with his abdomen and all this other stuff.
It's crazy because, just not to cut you off, he's been struggling, but he's still putting up stats that half the league would kill for.
Oh, no doubt. But that's my thing, though. With CJ probably being a part of that package, Pride, here's where I ask you a question. And Ben fill that role and be that guy CJ's being right now? From a scoring perspective.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain to you why I genuinely believe that.
I'm all in. I'm all in to hear it.
Yeah, I'm explaining you why. So first and foremost, we need to understand Damian Lillard obviously is going to have, when the balls, when it's time, Dame Lillard is going to be the one who has the ball in his hands. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when it comes to all those clutch plays, right? I know for a fact.
But like bringing the ball up, who's bringing the ball up in your opinion? Ben or Dame?
I think it's a healthy mix.
That's why I just need to see it first. You know what I mean? Like, I need to understand what they're thinking before I can have an opinion.
This is how I would do it. If I'm running the Trailblazers, this is how I would do it. So first and foremost, I think it's a healthy mix. I do sit down and I tell Ben Simmons before anything happens, you're gonna be at the 3/4. If you don't like it, you're not coming here. I'm having that conversation with him.
You have to. You have
before anything, because I understand you want to be a point guard. I get it, but I'm not gonna do that and move Dame at the 2 and still have a dog shit front court. Let's call it what it is. Right?
It is. Right.
I want Ben Simmons. I want to get his butt in the paint. And this is why. If you put him in the paint constantly, maybe that's what forces him to work on his game and have some sort of, because he does have a decent post game, but I feel like he could work on it better. And he could work on it to be to the point where, like, yeah, you don't got to be a knockdown shooter, but with a post game that's ferocious, you'll be able to let it slide. So I feel like if you put him there, it'll work. Now, here's the only thing. Here's where things get a little dicey. So CJ McCollum right now, he's giving
buckets.
He is 20. He's giving you 20 points per game. In terms of assists and rebounds, about 4. Here's the only problem. He's shooting it at a 42% clip.
Right.
I am willing to say, you know what? I'll lose about 5 points. Because Ben out there, I know Ben out there, he'll give me 15.
Right.
Give me an efficient 15, enough where people got to worry about you. And again, if you get those in the paint, it opens up for Dame. See, the problem was, it was Ben Simmons, who was a point guard, but technically still a big man, trying to coincide with a big man in Joel
Right.
Embiid. In this situation, it is a big man in Ben Simmons
Mhm.
who would still be able to get his touches and still play a little bit how he wants to play, but he's now coinciding with a guard in Damian Lillard, who is a 3-level scorer.
Right.
He scored from 3, mid-range, and paint. So I feel like when you look at it from that perspective, I think it could work. Somebody said Simmons going to want to hog the ball and be the number one and want a big contract. That is a stupid move. I don't think so.
He's never really been one to hog the ball.
Right. He's never been a ball hog because Ben Simmons
Because he doesn't
is a
shoot.
pass first guy, which is why people said he's a jump shot away from LeBron. But he's
Right.
selfish. But he's a ball hog.
Now,
I don't
Pride,
get it.
can I ask you a little bit of a shiesty question from a owners and a GM?
Go ahead, and real quick, on this show, Spotlight is not here. Spotlight been AFK for a while, bro. I'm gonna have to hunt that man down because, to quote Fredward, he been running from me.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Fredward today. I have not heard from Fredward today.
I heard a little
I
bit
have
from Fredward. I heard
Derek.
a little bit from him. But go ahead.
I heard him this morning, but it's been quiet. Been quiet afternoon. But you run it with, say you get CJ and maybe get away with a couple unprotected. Maybe. You know, it's one of those situations where, are you shiesty as fuck, and do you still trade Dame after you get Ben? Now you maybe give it a year, let Dame mentor Ben, and you know Dame still has 3 years on his deal. So you look at it and you say, all right, fine. We're going to have you mentor Ben for this season. Maybe we make the playoffs. Maybe we don't. But I'm trading you regardless for more young talent at the end of the year. Now you go into next year. I have no idea how it would work, but look at something. Think of a package of like THT and a bunch of young guys for Dame if they could find a way to get rid of Russ. Or just a contender like that, getting those young pieces to acquire that aren't really needed. Would you potentially do it? I think it's a question. Now, because you could rock out with Ben and Dame, but if you can get Ben and trade Dame for a bunch of picks or a bunch of young assets, you might really put something together.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Jalen Green for Dame.
I was about to say, that's something you're actually gonna have to consider. You would at the bare minimum, like what I would do. I'll get Ben. I'll see how Ben and Dame work for about a year.
For a year.
And then if it doesn't work,
trade Dame.
I'm blowing it up. I'm blowing it up because at this point, look. Obviously, they're going to war with CJ and Dame over and 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 over again, and it's stupid. It's not a smart move. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's not working, so they're gonna have to figure something out, and they're gonna have to, they're gonna have to spice it up, right? If you get Ben Simmons, again, I'm assuming if they trade for him, they assume that him and Dame could work. Let's say it's working, and it's just not bringing them anywhere. Or it does not work. If they do not, let's say this trade happens and they do not make it to, let's say they need to be a top 5 seed and they need to get out of they need to get at least to the second round. If it's like that and you lose in the second round and let's say it's close, you can go, okay, it was, you guys put up a solid fight. We have something here. Then I think you stay. However, if you guys are still when I say you guys, I'm referring to Portland. If Portland is still in the play,
hey, you ain't telling me.
Yeah, my bad. But if they're still in the play-in, right, and they're still not doing nothing, this is when, as the organization, you need to say, Ben, not only are we going to get rid of you, but Dame, you got to go. Like, we need to blow this thing up because right now the Portland Trailblazers they're in this position where they either A, have to trade one of their big guys to try to spice it up and make something else. I know I started. Fuck off, Mike.
No, I thought about something. I'm being toxic, but it's okay.
Nah. After I finish, you have to say your toxicity. But you either have to A, trade one of your big, your best players to try something new, or B, you just gotta say fuck it and just blow everything up. Mike, go ahead, be toxic.
I
He
don't
put
want
the
to.
hoodie up. It's inner Mike talking. Go ahead, Mike. Say it.
Hey man, if you give it a year, right, going into the off season this year, I call Golden State. I say I'll give you Damian Lillard for Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole, and I'm cool with that. And I'll throw in some picks, and then you rock out with Klay, Simmons, and Jordan. You could have Klay be the 1, or Klay be the 2, Jordan be the 1, Ben be 3 or 4, wherever you want to put him. I imagine 4. You got Nurkic still. I'm just saying, it's definitely a conversation to be had if Klay doesn't look the same, and if I'm and that defensive team of Klay and Ben, nasty.
I don't think Golden State would do that.
It depends on Klay.
Think
It
so.
depends on Klay.
We'll have this conversation later. Let me see how Klay looks. Because listen, some people are gonna say you're bugging.
Some people will. I'm a Klay guy. I'm Splash Bros for life. But
you're not wild for thinking that.
It might be Dame time in wherever the fuck. San Francisco now? I don't know. Not Golden State, but
it's a possibility.
I'm just saying, might want to give him a call, check out the availability of Peyton and Poole. Maybe you rock out all. Maybe you don't even need Klay. Maybe you rock out all 3. Maybe Klay becomes a 3. Maybe you got Dame, Curry, Klay. Fuck it. We've seen it before, but I don't know. Maybe you get Wiggins. Who knows? I play GM.
That right there makes you think. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That right there.
I play GM in my day on a really. If I could finish college, I'd be in the fucking majors right now, GMing somewhere. But we all have our thing.
Before we move on, one question: if Simmons goes to Portland and if Lillard stays, which is more likely, no matter what, because he's low to Portland, can Lillard and the Trailblazers change Simmons' ways and get him to shoot? I'm gonna do this right now. I don't think they need to. The only stipulation I have with this is Ben Simmons needs to play the 3 or the 4, and he needs to have his butt in the paint. That's the only stipulation I have.
You'd be one of the only 3 or 4s that doesn't really shoot, though.
And he brings so much more that if we develop a good post game for him, I'll be fine.
I like what Isaiah Thomas said. Isaiah Thomas made a comment. OG Isaiah, by the way, not my boy.
Yeah, well, he was on Shaq
Not
show,
my
right?
boy dropping 80 in the overseas. But Isaiah made a comment about the Pistons possibly trading for him. And he said Ben is a perfect player. The problem with Ben is he needs to learn how to, 1, shoot free throws, and 2, be able to take a foul. Because if Ben and I don't like IT. I'm a Bulls guy. Fuck IT for life. But Jordan's better. But it's definitely bad boys my ass. But it's definitely something though. I think about it. If Ben just shot free throws and could just be more physical to the point where he's getting fouled, I think you're averaging 22 to 25 points a night just solely based off of that. And the way he plays, it's not like James Harden. They're really fucking with guys who are trying to get fouled by the 3-point line. Now, guys in the paint, it's like that. Like the second you touch anybody, you step on any toenails, it's a foul. So Ben, from that regard, definitely could get a lot of points just solely based off free throws. So I think if you could work on that with Ben and just try to manipulate the system, same with Kobe. We're gonna do this. We're gonna have this conversation. Kobe read that manual for refs on the regular. Like he was trying to find ways to mentally fuck people from a ref's perspective. Like he was looking at every single rule and he understood what they were going to call. If you could get Ben to dedicate himself to that, I think you really have something there.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Ben Simmons doesn't have to go that deep. I'll be honest with you.
But I would.
If he can. No. I get what you're saying, but I will say this: 110%. If he just shrugs his shoulders, says, F it, I'm going to be a good free throw shooter. Like you said, that's 20 plus points per night you're giving him. Now he doesn't have to shoot. Now he doesn't have to be a good shooter. Why? Because now if you're comfortable at the free throw line, now you can just drive to your heart's content. And if they foul you, you just go to the line.
And there's still going to be those guys who are like, oh, well, you're dropping 20. You could be dropping 30 if you shoot. Who cares? Like,
I mean, because at the end of the day,
it's not that deep to me.
Right. Like, yeah, my thing is he brings so much more that I'm willing to take a chance with
Right.
him. I mean, obviously, I'm a Celtics fan, so I would take a chance on him as long as the trade does not involve Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown.
I wouldn't take a chance on trading for any point guard if I were you. I would just birth one. Like, Pride, you got to stop trading for these guys, bro. I'm sorry, but Pride,
I'm just
Pride,
saying.
you have a problem, sir.
No.
You have a problem.
No.
You keep going back to the trades of the toxicness.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I wouldn't
Pride,
mind
Kemba, Kyrie.
No, but the thing is, I wouldn't even have him.
Pride,
hold on. I'm gonna tell you this. Right. If we trade for Ben Simmons, I wouldn't have him even be the point guard.
Pride.
I would have him at the 4. Swear to God. I would have him at the 4.
That's possibly fine. But Pride, I'm not doing this. You're fresh. You're 1 year off of your addiction. You just got Dennis Schroeder. You kind of relapsed. Yo, facts. But King of New York. What you talking about?
Hey, yo, New York. He's the boardwalk king. Like, come on, bro. that drug life. Bing bong. Like, come on, bro. Hey, yo, fuck the Hey, yo, Kemba. Fuck your position. Bing bong out of the rotation. Get him out of here, coach.
Right.
And there were some people talking about, oh yeah, the Celtics better keep him. Ow, kick your coffee over, you fucks.
Crazy as hell.
Yeah, we're entering the witching hour in terms of the NFL. Mike, who do you have as your MVP?
My guy, Jonathan Taylor. At the end of the day, I don't care. I've been waiting to say it for a very long time.
You stole mine.
Sorry, but I've been watching him since the Wisconsin days. I've been waiting for this kid to get his chance to shine. And hopefully, Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts don't fuck that up for him, because they are on a path right now for him to be huge. I honestly thought it was going to go to Derrick Henry. I thought this was the year. If you went back to back 20 or 2,000 plus yards, over 15 tutties, maybe 20, there's no shot that you snub him twice in a row. But he's out. So I would give it to Jonathan right now, just because truly no quarterback, Patrick Mahomes himself and Tom Brady included, has not really impressed me this year at a consistent basis.
Tom Brady's impressed the shit out of me. I just want to say,
no, he's impressed me, but like from an MVP standpoint, like we got weeks where Godwin and Evans aren't even combining 50 yards. Like
Tom Brady's still leading the league in touchdowns. I just want to throw that out there.
And he is.
Let me just say one thing real quick. In terms of Derrick Henry, and this was the pace he was on. Derrick Henry, he's been injured for quite a while now. Third in rushing. Let me say that one more time. He's been out for a while. My guy's still third in rushing. And by the way, he's got a comfortable margin against in front of Nick Chubb, who's behind him. So it's Jonathan Taylor at 1. He's the only guy with over 1,000 yards so far. Then Joe Mixon at 978, so he's close. Then King Henry, 937. Nick Chubb is behind him, 867. Mark Ingram from the Texans, surprisingly, 821. Antonio Gibson at 800. Those are the top 6 guys. Somehow Derrick Henry has a legitimate chance of finishing top 5 in rushing without playing. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in. I was like, oh yeah, there ain't. I honestly thought it was gonna be him. I mean, a lot of people are saying not Derrick Henry. Sorry, Kyler Murray, which I get. I understand.
Missed a few games though, so I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to MVP, I also look at it.
You can't miss games like that.
Yeah, but not only when he was out, they went 2-1. So I'm just throwing that out there. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. is leading the league in thrown touchdowns. My God, Tom, I want to be you when I grow up. Lamar Jackson, I've seen people try to make an argument for him. And if you make an argument for him, I'm going to make an argument. You deserve to be in a detention center for the crazy, because ain't no way on God's green earth I'm saying him. For me, I'm going to throw a name out there. I'm going to be corny. Mike, if I'm crazy, let me know. Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. I think it's hold on, let me look at Coop's stuff real quick because I haven't looked at it in a couple
Because
weeks.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Go
Cooper
on.
Kupp right now, he leads the league in receptions and yards. So he's got 100 receptions. It's about 24 more than the next guy, Jalen Waddle, who's at 86.
Right.
1,366 yards. Only wide receiver right now that's over that's at 1,300 or more. The next closest, I believe, is Justin Jefferson, who has, what is it, 12? Yep, 1,209. 11 touchdowns, which the only other guy who has double-digit touchdowns is Adam Thielen with 10. In terms of plays, 20 yards or more, he has 20. Second only to Justin Jefferson with 21. 40 yards or more. He's tied for second with 6. He's tied with Jamar Chase and Deebo Samuels. And the two guys above him, Deshaun Jackson and Mike Williams. And look, for me, I'm thinking if I'm gonna pick a dark horse, I'm taking Cooper Kupp. If I gotta pick a dark horse. By the way, you making that Eddie Kingston joke. First of all, he's lighter than me. By the way, Eddie Kingston is a wrestler. He's in AEW. But he's fatter than me. You fuck. Just throwing that out there. So Mike, Cooper Kupp, am I wild for thinking? Because I'll be honest, I think he has a legitimate chance.
Right.
Am I crazy for feeling that way?
Nah, I've been a fan of Cooper Kupp for a few years now. I'm even gonna flodge. We just wear the same jersey number. And Cooper Kupp, it's my favorite name to say. It really is. It's why I picked him up in fantasy. He's just a fun fucking guy to have the name of. Cooper Kupp is one of the coolest names I've ever heard in my life. Aside from the point, 11 touchdowns. It's just hard, man. It's hard when Taylor has over 20. Tom Brady's doing his thing, and I feel like at the end of the day, it shouldn't be this way, but it's a statistical award. It really should just be to who is the most valuable to a team. And honestly, Quentin Nelson should be in this conversation as well for everything he's offering. There's many other individuals who I feel like should definitely be a candidate. Penei Sewell, maybe even just a conversation, because without them, the Detroit Lions would literally just be vibing with one win. They still are, but that's all they're vibing about. Penei Sewell is definitely one of those guys. I think in the future, Quentin Nelson, those kind of linebacker or those kind of
he's going to be the new Quentin Nelson. When Quentin Nelson steps out, he's going to replace him as the best offensive. Offensive.
I think he's going to be the best tackle without a doubt. I think Nelson can guard. But it's definitely something where the guys like that, I feel like, are deserving of this award as well. Not Penei at this point in time, but definitely in the near future, potentially. Maybe. I don't fucking know. It's Detroit. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough with Kupp because, again, you're just not doing enough from a touchdown perspective for me. We still got a few weeks left, but Matt's got to pull his head out of his ass. I'm a big Stafford guy, but he's got to pull his head out because he's dogging right now. He's getting a little tired, but I think it's definitely a conversation. But I don't think he's close to a voting wise.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I genuinely hope and pray we don't get a quarterback this year. Because there's other guys who genuinely deserve it. And I think it would be a shame for Jonathan Taylor to go on this incredible run and not be rewarded just because he's a running back.
Oh, if he's not on the cover of Madden next year, I'm flipping shit.
And bro, I saw someone say if he's not on the cover of Madden, they're not buying it because of how much of a pace he's been. I don't blame him.
Like, it's got to be.
They're going to put Ben Roethlisberger. Watch.
The next chapter.
Watch the next chapter. Yo, he actually thinks he'll go somewhere to start. Oh, my God. I said Ben Roethlisberger actually thinks he'll go somewhere else and start.
I think that was misconstrued, but that's a whole different. I don't think that's what he meant. I think he just meant this is his last year, and he just didn't want to say it like that.
For his safety and well-being, he better, because one more year, I'm telling you, bro, the dude's gonna break his collarbone. And I'm not trying to be mean, but bro, you should retire 2 years ago. That's one thing with Drew Brees. Drew Brees knew, bro, I gotta hang it up. It is what it is. I ain't got it no
Right.
more. Ben
Drew
for some
broke them
reason,
ribs, and he was like, "Fuck this."
yup, he was like, I'm good. Ben Roethlisberger's like, oh, I'm still that guy. No, bro, you're a guy. Let's just put it out there, bro. You're a guy. You're not the guy no more. So you better settle down.
Right.
Mike Tomlin, get your shit together. Stop having Ben throw the ball, because obviously, fucking
Give me Dwayne.
Najee Harris should be cooking, but it is what it is. Last question I have for you, Mike, because right before the show, you said something in the group chat that made me raise my eyebrow. You believe that Cam Newton, although he will not be a first ballot,
Right. That's the key.
Yes, he's not going to be a first ballot, but you still believe Cam Newton will end up making the Hall of Fame.
I don't see how not. Number one, I'm going to say it as a white man. I hate having these conversations because there's always someone who they come in too late in the conversation, or they only hear what they want to hear. But Cam Newton is the definition of black excellence at the quarterback position in the modern day era. He has stimulated to what he did. He's what they wanted Michael Vick to be prior to Michael Vick deciding that dogfighting was cool, which is I don't know how that happened. I'm still gonna say it to this. I hate seeing this guy on FS1. I'm like, are we really fucking doing this? Like, we dragged this man through the mud, and now we're just like, he's clean. Like, no, he's a piece of shit.
He got a nice smile. Let's forgive him.
No, he's still a piece of shit. He's just in a suit now. Like, that's the only difference. But Cam Newton changed the wave of what quarterbacks are now. You look at Justin Fields, you look at Trey Lance, and Coach, if you're watching this, Trey Lance is not a pass first guy. With that being said, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, the list goes on and on. It's becoming a mobile era, and Cam instilled that. Not only doing that, but went 15-1, went to a Super Bowl, won an MVP. I believe it was unanimous, if I'm not mistaken. Over 31,000 yards, still not done. Over 73 rushing touchdowns, still not done. Over about 193, but probably will be about 200 by the time he's done for touchdowns thrown. So I'm looking at probably sitting around over 300 touchdowns when it's all said and done, which isn't great by any means. But it's definitely something to where, to me, bro, if you have an MVP, you belong in the Hall. Like, that's just you. For a year, you were the greatest in the game. So to say that there's all these guys from the 30s and the 20s and the 10s that are racking up probably 2,000 yards in a season, looking like every single Chicago Bears quarterback to ever live, and you're a first ballot Hall of Famer, Damian, I'm gonna say, like, why not? Why not, Cam? Like,
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm willing to hear it, but like, no means is it gonna be first ballot unanimous Hall of Fame.
No. I understand that because
by the age of 80, Cam Newton will be a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they say that, they automatically assume you mean first ballot, and that's why I specifically said in the beginning you did not say first ballot. He will eventually make it. For me, there's a couple knocks I have on Cam Newton.
Go ahead.
So first and foremost, I believe when I'm thinking about the Hall of Fame, if I have to think about it, you're not in. Because the Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Very Good, right?
Right.
Cam Newton had one MVP. And I see what you're saying in terms of,
3 Pro Bowls.
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about the MVP part specifically, just for this point, because you said if you win an MVP, you should be in
that's
the
just me.
Hall
That's me. I feel the same for the NBA. Like, we got guys who don't belong in the NBA Hall of Fame, and Derrick Rose to me belongs in there. The youngest to ever do it.
But here's my thing.
Right.
Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer?
I think it's a conversation to be had when you look at it from a statistical standpoint.
Because he had MVP.
Done. Right. When it's all said and done, though, I think you look at it from a statistical standpoint, and if it checks, it checks. I mean, answer me this, Pride.
Go ahead.
Brett Favre a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Now, how many interceptions does Brett Favre have?
Which is a knock. Which 100% that is a knock.
Well, I'm just saying, if this man has over 73 rushing touchdowns, a unanimous MVP, over 200 thrown touchdowns, went 15-1 and to a Super Bowl,
Yep.
and changed the way we look at the quarterback position for not a long period of time, but a short period of time. Now there's the Lamars, like I said, all these others. Cam kind of instilled that again. Now with Mike Vick, answer me this really quick. When Mike Vick came in, it was, oh my God, maybe the league is going to change the mobile quarterbacks. Right. Then he did his stunt, and it never went back to that ever again. Cam Newton comes in, and now we're starting to see more of it because it was more consistent, and you realize, like Coach said, how many mobile quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl? Not really any. But Cam was the first to really go there. So now you're starting to see that whole new narrative. So do you think that's enough?
No, not even close. I don't think so. Because then by logic, Lamar Jackson's a Hall of Famer. And I don't, you know what I mean?
Well, he's not done yet.
No, but I'm talking about specifically from the point you're bringing up. Now, look, Brett Favre, I understand with the whole thing about, the interceptions, which again, there's multiple times he's thrown over 30 touchdowns.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's been multiple times he's thrown over 4,000 yards.
Right.
When it comes to Cam Newton, he's threw over 4,000 yards one time, and that was his rookie year.
Right.
So that was his rookie year. Okay. Every year, by the way, in 2017, he threw in his completion percentage was 67.9, right?
Right.
The next highest is 65.8, which was in New England. Do you know what the next highest after that is, Mike? 60%. I lied. I'm sorry. 61.7%, which is in 2013. Right. The next highest is then 60%, his rookie year. The next highest, 59.8, 2015. The next highest, 58. So I'm looking at a guy who had one MVP year. But outside of that, I'm looking at a good but not great quarterback.
Oh, without a doubt. But that's my thing, though, is like what fucks Cam is the injuries. Like if Cam could have put another 3 years of 3,500 plus yards, I think we're having a different conversation.
No, we're not.
There's more to build off of. But he just never really bounced back after that MVP season, and that's really where it messes up. Now, do I think it eventually happens? Yes. At the end of the day, not saying that he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I definitely think is Kirk Cousins a Hall of Famer? Get the fuck out of here, Damien. But what is Cutler a Hall of Famer? What are we talking about?
I'm pretty sure he's trolling because he's talking about Jay Cutler. I will say, go ahead, Mike. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
Jay has Hall of Fame potential, Hall of Fame talent.
Jay Cutler?
By no means did he execute that in any way, shape, or form while he played. Like he had Hall of Fame talent. He just didn't use it. So that's my knock on Jay. Jay never did anything with it. Jay just kind of played with his dick the whole time. So it is, you had Bennett, you had Marshall, you had Forte, Jeffrey, and all these guys. You never did anything. Now, Cam, to his credit, never really had much from an offensive perspective. I mean, you had Greg Olsen, and then, by the time Christian McCaffrey gets there, you're on your way out the door. So he really did. Like, if we're being completely real, Pride, that defense was monstrous in 2015. No question about it. Peanut Tillman, all them boys, Ron Rivera, great.
Josh Norman, when he made
right. But Cam Newton offensively was the Carolina Panthers offense
for that 1 year. For that one year.
But what I'm saying is,
go ahead.
If injuries didn't bite you like that, I think we're having
I don't believe in giving you. My thing is, when it comes to injuries, I'm not gonna give you a break for injuries.
Oh, it's not a break. I'm just saying, like, I think it's a very different conversation if it's another MVP or maybe another Super Bowl.
I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because I'm looking
with 3 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl appearances. We're not talking about a Hall of Famer.
I don't think so. Because the thing is you're looking like my thing, the way I look at the MVP, or not MVP, I'm sorry, the Hall of Fame, I look at your entire body of work.
Right.
I look at, obviously you have 3 MVPs. What did you do the years you didn't win an MVP? What do you do? What did you do the years? And I look at the stats, and again, I was able to see Cam Newton. And when I saw him, and I'm not even looking at the stats for this, when I saw Cam Newton, I saw a very inconsistent passer, a guy who just threw the ball deep and was like, whatever happens, happens, and was a guy who really, I don't want to say he couldn't read right, because I think he could read defenses. It's just for some unknown reason, if the check down was open, instead of doing it, he would end up scrambling, getting less yards than if he did the check down.
Right. That's my knock. Like, Super Cam is cool, but you were trying to be Super Cam way too often.
Yeah,
that was my biggest knock with him.
Yeah, it kind of the same thing with Andrew Luck. Like, you know, when Andrew Luck, it was like, bro, just slide, and he would lower the shoulder and go boom, and it's like,
right. And you wonder why you retire early.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, obviously don't get it twisted. Indiana, the Colts did no justice with him by not helping up that line at all.
They get Quentin Nelson after he leaves. I was like, bro, what are we doing?
Right. I'm like, yo, that's shady. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and say, by the way, per Shams, CJ has pneumonia thorax, which is a collapsed right lung, and will be further evaluated. Comes at a horrible time.
This is what I'm talking about, Brian. This is what, like, CJ is hot right now. Trade him before some shit happens. Like, it's no knock.
So now, ready to hear the funny part? They might have to keep CJ, and if they want to make any trade, it's gonna have to be pick heavy. And then whoever they trade for is gonna have to be what? A role player at best? Because you're not gonna be able to get one of those big name guys now. You're not gonna be able to.
You think you could get Ben though still with just picks?
No.
All protected? All protected.
No. I think you would need to throw a player in there. You would have to. And it has to be a player that would be able to start in their starting lineup.
What's dude's name? Which one? Simmons. From Rodney. Is it Rodney Simmons?
Oh no, Rodney Hood.
No. Kid in the dunk contest in Portland. Simmons?
Isaiah Roby, I think his name is.
Nah, it's Simmons, bro. Simmons on Portland. He was in the dunk contest. Portland, Simmons. Simons? I don't know.
Dennis Smith Jr.? I think.
Nah, dog.
Anthony Simmons.
Yeah.
Or I think it's Simons, actually.
I think it is Simons. Pardon me, it is Simons. But we're on the Simmons topic.
Oh, and Iverson literally just said it too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
22 years old, a bunch of protected picks.
I know. No, I think he's too young. I think he's too young because I think with I genuinely believe the Sixers want a guy that they can plug in. I'll be honest. I think Dennis Smith Jr.
want to win.
is more likely to get traded than Anthony Simons.
Yeah, it's definitely a question.
It's
but
gonna be tough.
There's no way all three of those guys are on the same roster, though. No chance.
Who?
But that's why I said get rid of CJ now. Everyone wants to wait till the deadline. I would have done that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's very interesting. But again, I will say this. For me, the Cam Newton thing. For me personally, I look at it the same exact way as I look at Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan. Very good quarter. He was a good quarterback. Had one great year. Not everyone wants to elevate him.
A lot more consistent though, like stat wise than Cam. I feel like.
No. I'm just saying the way I look at him because what I mean by that is this, and obviously I might even include this year. You know what I mean? So it's pronounced Simeons. Simeons. That's so weird.
I don't think it is, Damien.
I don't think so. Hold on. Matter of fact, no, because now I gotta prove a point.
Now I'm bothered.
No, 100%. Because because I feel like he's trolling, and I'm gonna say
I'm going to disrespect this man on live TV and say his name wrong. We're gonna get this right.
Give me one. Hold on, just bear with me, cause
I'm with it. I'm fine. I got time. I want to know.
Okay, I need. No, it's Simons. You fuck. It's Simons. It's Simons.
Fuck out of here, Damien. Fuck out of here.
He almost got me. He almost got me. Simons.
Damien's fucking awesome.
But for me, the way I real quick, because I look at Cam the same way I look at Matt Ryan.
Right.
He had that one great year. Outside of that, he is who he is. And people want to use that one great year to kind of judge him. And I'm like, I don't think we should do that. I don't think so. You know, again, that's just me. I don't think, and again, I have a very high standard for the Hall of Fame to where if I have to think, if I have to hesitate, see, now he's like, oops. It's like, no, it's not oops. It's not oops. It's not oops.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you know what you did, David. You know what you did.
Like, yo, I'd be like, my fault.
Be like, oops. Like, but not for me. I have a very high expectations for the Hall of Fame where if I have to hesitate, I say no. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
if I say,
I can deal with that.
you know what I mean? If I say Peyton Manning, you're gonna go, probably you're dumb as shit if you don't think so. You know, Drew Brees, same thing. For me, and this a lot of people gonna hate me for this. I don't think Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
Andrew Luck?
Nope.
Right.
And Andrew Luck was on the path,
Right.
but
that's what I'm saying. I think Cam was on the path of doing something that hadn't been done on a consistent
if he
level.
had bounced back after the Super Bowl,
and if he didn't have 3 seasons in a row of you couldn't finish the season healthy,
maybe,
like, bro,
maybe. But again, if I was born with a vagina, I'd be a girl. But I look down, I got a dick, so that's who I am. You know what I mean?
That's where it's a whole different conversation.
I'm just saying.
I know Damien's typing right now about all types of things, so I think we should wrap this up.
Look, all I'm saying, this is all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, you know, if that were to happen, maybe it's a separate conversation. But you know, it's tough, you know, because like I said, for me, if I have to just think about it.
Right, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I don't call you.
My thing was more of like when I saw the post, because I didn't just out of pocket just say this. I saw the post and I shared it, and I was like, "What do y'all think?" And I said, "I think at some point, I think they'll just do it to do it. I don't think it's because he earned it. It's one of those things for clout that I think happens way in the future. Yeah, I Pride. Yeah, it's Pride's on a roll today. Pride's trying to fight people. Pride's talking about chicks with dicks. Pride's on a roll. Pride's on a roll.
And let me just throw this out there. I'm a very nice person. I really am. I'm a nice person. You know, I try to be a good person. The problem is when people drag it out of me, and then I say stuff, you know, say, you know, we could fight, you know. Then all of a sudden, Pride's the bad guy.
We're not doing this, Pride.
I'm just throwing that out there.
We're not doing this, Pride. We're not doing this yet.
No, we're not going. No, we're not going down the rabbit hole. I promise. We're not going down the rabbit hole.
We're not going down the rabbit hole.
No, all I'm saying is, you know, I reciprocate the energy, and all of a sudden, I'm looked at as like a dark-skinned Hitler. Say, I ain't doing nothing crazy. I'm just reciprocating what y'all giving to me. And that's all I do.
Pride, you're on a roll tonight.
And
well, ladies and gentlemen, chicks with dicks, dark-skinned Hitler, Pride will fight anybody, and Cam Newton is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And
I did not say that. Whoa.
And to top it all off, CJ McCollum is one of the best players in the league right now. But now his lung is gone.
Matter of fact, now you want me to play like that? Mac Jones is the best quarterback in the league. Stop playing with me. 67% last night this kid threw. 67 over 67%.
Fucking 3 times. Victor, also, I would like to say Bill Belichick is a horrible coach. Has been the narrative throughout everything. This man beat the best defense in the league and only threw the ball 3-1.
And this is and real quick before we leave, that's one thing I like about Bill Belichick. He finds players and makes them succeed. Like Damian Harris.
Running backs, I'm sorry, Pride. Those running backs are not good enough to throw the ball 3 times. But they did it.
Let's call it what it is. And the thing is, they're not good anywhere else.
Right.
You put them on Minnesota, they're not that good. The Chargers, the Chiefs, Packers, Rams, Buccaneers, they're not. But in New England, all of a sudden, they look like fucking commodities.
And that's why I've been so upset with Jordan Howard continuously going to Philly. I said, bro, go to New England, bro. You'll be a powerhouse. But they don't want.
And the thing is,
I don't know why he keeps going back to Philly.
I don't know. At this point, I just think he's a glutton for punishment. It has to be at this point. Because again, like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. It is what it is.
Feels bad. Feels bad.
Right. He said, I'm trying to be like Uncle Luke on YouTube. Damn, I don't know who's Uncle Luke. Who is that?
I'm not sure. Uncle Luke.
I don't want to be no one's uncle.
I know Uncle Drew.
Look, man, Uncle Drew. Look, I'm not a big fan of Kyrie, but that Uncle Drew persona,
Fire.
that 100%.
But yeah, with that being said, everyone, Marvin Bagley to the Pacers.
And
Cam Newton is a Hall of Famer, and Black Hitler is now on the ASAP network. So
I guess so. The next time I low key might change my name to that. I might. I might be pushing the envelope a little bit too far. So
Sensei's gonna be very upset when she watches this later.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. I'm gonna get in so much trouble, bro. Like I got yelled at earlier, and I was like, ooh. And I'm just
Who yelled at you? Who yelled at you? Did Fredward yell at you?
No, all I'm saying is this: I got yelled at because which deservedly so, because I shouldn't have said I was gonna fight.
I was watching. I partaked in it as well. It is.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said I would fight you. I shouldn't have said that. That being said, I said what I said and I meant it. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not doubling down.
This is where you get in trouble, Brad.
And here's the thing. I'm saying what I'm saying, knowing I'm saying what I'm saying, knowing I'm gonna get in trouble. So
yeah.
I said what I said and I meant it. I'm not doubling, tripling, or quadrupling. I'm pentadowning, bro. I'm going down 5 times, brother. No oxygen.
Oh,
Pause.
Oh, man.
No oxygen, brother.
Oh, man.
I said what I said and I meant it. And I'm just gonna say one thing. I'm a man of God. I'm straight. Hands and feet. Bisexual. To quote the great Adrian Broner, they call me the Can Man because anybody can get it. American, Mexican, Dominican, African, anybody can get it. And you're confused about the whole bisexual line. These hands, rated E for anyone. Male and female can get them. I'm just saying, bro. Pride defending his name. I'm protecting my good name. And again, I'm going to get in trouble. Mike, I'm telling you this right now. It was worth it. And I'm dragging you in here with me because I'm going to say Mike's
down for this.
Yo, Bad, I am a whole clown, bro. It has been your boy Pride, who's probably going to get fired. But alongside with that man, Mike, who, you know what? I'm not even going to snitch on him, but we know what Mike do. Mike about that business. So I'm saying.
I don't know. I stay home, bro. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I stay home now because I don't know if I told you. I broke my back. I broke my back last year. So, like, I've been home. I still get money, though. I got a couple little side things. Nothing illegal, to get the money in. But
boring.
That's fine. My back, bro, it has been in so much pain lately, bro. And, like, I've been taking pills for it because, like, the pain is wild. So I contribute that to, like, my, like, the mental breakdown. You guys, I'm, like, 2 days from a mental breakdown where, like, I go.
It happened.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go nuts, bro. Like I'm gonna take over ASAP, bro. And I'm gonna be screaming some Drake lines, bro. I'm gonna be like, you think you're better than me? I'm just saying you can do better. And Freddie's gonna have like an intervention with me. So
but there will always be room for you on my network, Pride, on the All Spotlight, All Plays. If they fire you here, you will be back there. It's where What was that thing on Rudolph? What was it? The Misfit Toys. All the Misfit Toys have been sent to the All Spotlight, All Plays network, and we're building something special. So it's gonna be lit.
100%. And by the way, Mike, I actually gotta talk to you about something because I have a great idea where we just turn on the camera and just ramble about just anything.
Yeah, Jay and I have been trying to do that for a while, but we're trying
to. I'm in there,
smoke.
Bro. I'm in there because I'm telling you, bro. It'll just be like 2 hours of us just telling stories.
Yeah, I'll make all y'all mad, bro. If y'all just heard this shit, I'll be walking past my mom's at the crib when I be getting back from college and shit. I just walk up to, like today, I'll send you the video, Pride. I walked straight up to her and she was doing business stuff like for some big company. I went, hey, and she went, yeah. And I was like, do you believe in the space-time continuum? She looked at me and I just walked off. Like I had nothing else to say. And she was like, she just looked and she's like, What the fuck was that?
Hold on. You even give Mama Hughes an opportunity to answer the question. You just dropped
No,
it.
I just left. I was like, I just wanted it to sit and stir. So when I came back down later, she was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "What was what?" I didn't even say anything. And that's just my day in a nutshell.
Bro, I'm telling you, that shit would be lit. But it has been your boy Pride on behalf of Mike. Sis, she tried to be on. She has some, iffy connection. It's all right, sis. We held it down for you. She will be back Saturday, as will all of us. We'll be here to talk more sports. We see y'all next time. Be safe.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.